Some people have asked that we go through the three parts of a romantic dialogue. The three parts of a romantic dialogue are mirroring, validating, empathizing. Now, we went into detail about what they are. Mirroring is not agreeing or disagreeing, it's just mirroring back what your takeaway is from a piece of information shared with your spouse. Validating is telling them that you see value in what they have said. And empathizing is walking in their shoes, feeling it through their eyes, not your eyes. Remember, selfish people can't do this. You unselfish people can put pause on you and see it through their eyes. Now, mirroring, people have asked, well, what is not mirroring? Mirroring is not mimicking or parroting. When you're parroting them, just that's not mirroring. Analyzing and tearing apart what they said is not mirroring back. So when you mirror back, so what I hear you say is that I don't support you as well as I could when we're disciplining the kids, versus analyzing is, okay, so you think that you're right all the time, and that whenever I try to help with our kids, that I just interrupt you and get in the way. Okay, that's analyzing. You don't analyze, you just mirror back. You don't tear apart. You don't critique what the speaker said during mirroring. You don't critique it like, well, I guess if you think, you don't modify with your tone, your body language. I've heard people say this is mirroring. So, you really think that that's not mirroring, that's modifying, or that's using your body language and tone to like sarcastically jab. Responding with your opinion. So mirroring back isn't, all right, so you think I don't support your parenting? Well, I think I do support your parenting because I'm always telling the kids. See, that's responding with my opinion. That's not mirroring. So the speaker's discussing a specific issue and you switch topics is not mirroring. The speaker's passionate about a topic and you go, yeah, all right, whatever. Whatever you say, that's not mirroring. Or I already knew you were going to say that. That's not mirroring. Okay, so mirroring is literally connecting with your partner by mirroring back almost exactly the intent until you understand them. Validating is where you tell them they have value. It's not when you say, I get it. Yeah, I get it. Whatever. And then tell your point of view. That's not validating. So saying, I'm sorry you feel that way is not validating. Okay, tell the truth. You're not telling the truth is not validating. And when you ask someone to like share something with you and say, now tell the truth, I already know what you're going to say. So you tell the truth and then we'll be able to move on. That's not validating. Pretending to agree in a sarcastic tone, that's not validating. Like, okay, through your eyes, I guess if that's how you see the world, if you want to be dumb about it, that's not validating. Okay. Um, Cutting off the speaker mid-sentence and saying, okay, I already know where you're going with this and you're wrong. That's not validating. Um, Another one that's not validating that's a little more subtle is like, um, okay, yeah, so it felt harmful when I jumped in on parenting the other night and kind of took it another direction and gave him a privilege. Well, that's nothing compared to what you've done to me on other occasions. See, that's not validating. Um, I know someone that did the opposite of what you're saying, so I think you're wrong. I remember last week you said the exact opposite of what you're saying now. Yesterday, you said the exact opposite of what you're saying now. Oh, so why did you say that we were in such a good place last week? You must have been lying. None of that's validating. Validating is where you're in the moment. You're not in the future, where you're trying to guess where it's going, and you're not in the past, where you're holding them hostage to a past belief. You're present and you're saying, okay, based on what you just told me, and I've mirrored back, I really feel like, yeah, I understand where you're coming from. I understand how you got there. That's validating. Now, empathizing is putting pause on you and really walking in their shoes and feeling it, feeling that deep sense of charitable empathy. And empathizing is not saying, I know exactly how you feel. Empathy is not when you're paying attention, you can really empathize. If you're looking at your phone, if you're texting, if you're like looking at your watch, hoping they hurry, you can't really empathize when you do that. Well, you really shouldn't feel that way. I mean, I know that hurts, but you don't have to hurt. You should feel this. That's not empathizing. Another way to say you shouldn't feel that way is, well, look, if I explain myself, you won't feel that way anymore. Remember, Jesus walks up to Mary and Martha, and they're crying and grieving and angry because he didn't make it in time to heal Lazarus. He wept with them. He knew what he was going to do, but he didn't throw it in their face. He just felt what they were feeling with them for a while. So when you empathize, it's not telling them to stop feeling, it's telling them you feel with them. When you say that's nothing, when I was your age or last week when you were mad at me, I had it much worse, isn't empathy. Well, it's your own fault. Like, why are you like mad at me? That's your fault that that happened, is not empathy. Sarcastically saying, oh, poor baby, not empathy. Well, great job. Great job. You really messed up, and that's why you're in this position. It's not empathy. So whether it be your kids, whether it be your coworker or your spouse, remember what empathy is and isn't. Remember what validating is and isn't. And these are the technical things that really make a difference in a romantic dialogue or having a monologue that you just make the other person feel worse. So when you coffee table something, you both sit on the couch together and you put data and information back and forth onto the coffee table, and then you look at it together and make a decision how to go forward with this shared purpose, this shared vision. That's romantic. It's connecting. Everybody comes in saying, how do I connect more? How do I connect with my spouse? How do I connect with my kids? How do I do better at connecting with coworkers in a healthy way? Well, you have to have a conversation. You have to duologue with them. You have to mirror back what you're hearing, validate them whether you agree or disagree, and then show empathy for where they're at. That way they feel valued, they feel they heard. And one of the most intimate processes ever is to feel deeply understood by another person. Okay, there's how not to do it. We'll talk to you again.